What is up, LEGO Fortnite community? It's Flocka again with another certified aircraft tutorial. This time, we're getting into some dogfights. Yes, as you can see on the screen here, we're doing barrel rolls with the Nightwing jet. I'm super excited to show you guys how to build this gorgeous aircraft. We're going to be using the base model from our previous jet tutorials to get this done. Now, I wasn't able to get a resource list because unfortunately, my ship got stuck at the bottom of the lake when I relogged back in to destroy it. But you're going to need to bring a lot of knot root, blast powder, that type of thing. So I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. Don't forget to drop a like if you find it useful or entertaining. And let's get right in. Start off, you're going to throw down a small car jack and some stairs so you can see behind. Now, we've done a couple tutorials on this plane model. We're making some more modifications to it. So use whatever floors you want to use. For this specific model, I'm going to be using the knot root floors from the Nova Academy. The scientific floor, number 4, the blue one. The 6x2 is a very common piece in this build, so we're going to grab that right away. Start off by putting the 8x8 down, and we're going to make our plane shape with the 6x2s on one side, stacking them up 4. And then building out 1, 2, 3. On the 4th one, we're using a 2x8, and we're going to snap it cleanly to the middle of the 6x2s, and we're going to fill it in like this and stack an extra one on top and get rid of the one on the bottom. Go up top and add 2 more 2x6s to each side, so one there and one there. Make sure they're even with the ones that you've already placed. We're then going to get rid of this 2x6 that's underneath right here. If you aim very carefully, you should be able to just hit it without hitting anything else, so you might need to back up just a little bit. We need to open this up enough for the barrel roll. That's why we had to get rid of that floor. Now we're just going to build up the rest of the ship using 2x6s. So snap one to the bottom and the top here on what is the front of the ship. And we're going to nudge it over until they meet. Feel free to use whatever floors you have for this next part. But to get that Nightwing look, we're going to be using black floor pieces. I'm just going to take the haunted house floors, the 6x2s, and we're going to be filling this in like that, leaving a stud of room on each side. We're then going to go underneath and we're going to cover up one of the studs of the black, leaving a 2 stud gap in the middle. That way we can throw a 16x2 floor piece in there. Just like that. We're going to go to the back of the ship with the 6x2s as close inward as you can get, making sure that it's flush with these inside pieces. We're going to go on 2 studs, stack them in and over one until they meet up in the middle, and then do one more on top. Throw whatever storage you can in here, but I'm going to be using the Imperial Survival Trunk. That's going to give me 8 items per. We're going to be able to put 2 of those side by side. I'm heading over to the wings, and I'm adding a little extra oomph to the edge here. Should be able to bring it out like a triangle. So leaving room at the top and the bottom and both sides, you're going to get that look. Go up top, and I'm going to use the 6x2s to get this done. I'm going to go all the way on right here, but I'm going to go 1 stud over on one side and then 1 stud over on the other. I'm going to snap both of these. You can also do 2x12 should work for this. For the Nightwing model, I'm going to be using the first order conference chair. Placing the chair on each edge. We're also going to put them on the bottom as well. To do that, we're just going to use a small thruster, point it at the very bottom of the small thruster so that it's green when we move it over to the floor. And we're going to be placing these chairs upside down. Next, we're going to take the 6x2s again, and on this inside floor on the top, we're going to snap one to the side, and then we're going to snap 2 more flush with it on the side here. You also want to snap a 2x6 to the bottom on the inside. And we're going to go ahead and take care of some of these headlights using the flat light bar and the angled light bar. Let's go ahead and snap 2x6s all the way down to cover up the side. You don't want to place one on this bottom one because we want to snap to what we have as the bottom right there. Next, take any foundation or corner wall piece. This is going to be for building the walls on the side to close this off without having to use too many more floor pieces. And I don't want it to be too bulky on the edge here. So what I'm doing is going into toys, controls, pressure plate. We're gonna place that so it's flush with the top of the floor, and use that to get 2 more 2x6s in. So one on the top And we're using that to get one more 2x6 in. We're going to place it like that so it curves downward. And I'm going to sneak one more of these lights in. You can put either or in, it doesn't really matter. But personally, the angled light bar might look a little bit better. To close up the sides, you could do like a sideways floor here if you'd like. But if you don't want to bother with that, just feel free to stack floor pieces like this. And then go up top and get rid of the top one. And those two on the side should stay as they're connected to the light. Now we want to try to slip in our barrel roll thrusters. We want to put 3 on each side. That's going to ensure that we can do a barrel roll for sure. So line it up with the back, the first thruster, then nudge 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to be the front one. Then put a middle one in like that. Now, whatever side you place them pointing down, you're going to need to do the opposite on the other side. So over here, we're going to line it up so that we're pointing at the top floor. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then place those in. This is going to get us to do our barrel roll. It's going to turn left side over. So if you want it to be the opposite way, you just need to put these thrusters in the opposite directions. For our forward thrust, you're going to take a vehicle base 1. You're going to point it at this wing or in between the wings so that it's flat on this floor piece here. We're going to nudge it all the way inside. And we're going to bring it back until it is even with this front wing. So you see it right here. I'll be able to nudge it over, and that's where we want to place it. If you want to get your other vehicle base in without having to count or look, just make sure you line it up with the vehicle base you already have, and then just nudge it over. And now we can add our thrusters. We're going to be using small thrusters on the inside, so 2 of them like that. And you can either throw 2 more, 1 more small thruster on the outside, but I like to use the large thrusters for extra speed. And you're going to be changing the channels on these. So whichever channel you need to turn each direction, you're going to do that. So like the left side for me would be channel 2. So all 3 of those thrusters I place over here are going to be channel 2. And to turn left, all of these ones over here are going to be channel 1. The barrel roll thruster should already be on channel 3. So you shouldn't have to change that. But if you like it on a different channel, make sure you change those as you're putting them in. While we're back here, we might as well add the backside storage. So I'm snapping another floor piece to the back here. And whatever you'd like to throw on, you can. I'm going to use the Battle Bus nightstand. I'm going to put those sideways like that. You can also fit the modern dresser in here pretty nicely. And that's going to give you a ton. So you'll have 4, 8, and then you'll have the 16 there. So you should have 24 spaces of storage, nice and tucked into this fighter jet. Now up top, we're going to be closing in this gap with another 6x2. You can just snap it to the pieces that are already there. Go ahead and grab a large driver's seat. You should be able to put this right on top of your storage, so you'll be able to nudge it back as far as you can. I'm going into decorations, electronics, and we're grabbing the Supernova data viewer. I'm then grabbing the 2x8, and on those back 6x2s, we're going to snap those 2x8s to them right there just to cover up the driver's seat a little bit. You can even add an extra 6x2 to the side if you like that look. Feel free to fill this in however you would like, but I'm just going to snap a 2x8 right there, and then I'm going to take these 6x2 accent pieces that I'm using, and we're going to snap as many of these to the front as we can in just a straight line. So doing a 2x6 and a 2x8, I'm able to get one stud away from the end. That's literally perfect. Feel free to add your own extra flair to this. I like to add some stripes and even a little depth to where the lights are. So adding another 6x2 to the middle. Now, if you want to leave it like this, that's totally fine. Feel free to skip ahead to the landing gear in the balloon editions. But if you want to add some turrets and really make this thing look combat ready while still being able to do barrel rolls, stick around. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. It's going to be as easy as snapping a thruster to this outside wing that we've built. We're then going to take whatever fence piece we have, and we're going to point it at this thruster until it is pretty much lined up with the floor, or at least on the side of one. So it looks like right there is about as good as we can get. So if you point it towards the middle of the thruster, you're going to get it right there. And then we're going to start stacking a couple of these. But then we're going to get rid of the back one. So however far back you made it, you're going to get rid of one fence piece. It should still be more than connected to here. But now we're going to take the fire escape support from the Friendly Neighborhood set. I'm going to point it at the side, and I want to snap it in between these fence pieces here. So it doesn't really matter how you have it lined up vertically, just as long as it's snapped to the very side of this fence piece. And to do that, all you really had to do was point your cursor at the floors behind the fence and nudge it over until it was in front. To get it to actually connect to the fence, make sure you're pointing somewhere where the fence is already placed. And now you can just snap to the other side of the fence and move it over. And there you go. All you have to do is add some extra details, and this is where you can mix it up however you like. Whatever lights you might have. I'm using the Acre shaded lamp from Anarchy Acre set. And then I'm going to the back with an 8x2. And I'm going to throw those on and even add a little extra flair to those by throwing those first order chairs on. If it's starting to feel like too much to you, remember, you don't have to add any of this. There's going to be 2 more pieces on the front here, as this is bothering me just a little bit. So let's snap 2 6x2s to the front, and that should work just fine. If you need a little bit more oomph, you want that black stripe to come out a little bit, just throw a 6x2 on the top there. No big deal. And now it's time for the finishing touches. That means balloons and landing gear. It's going to be super simple to add this. We're using the base game pieces from vehicle parts. We're using the fenders. So right or left fender, doesn't really matter on the front. Just make sure you're a stud away from the front. Get rid of the thruster that you use to put that upside down. You can put these right side up if you like, but I think they look a lot nicer this way. We'll take the left fender. We're going to point it at the thruster. We're going to nudge it over as far as we can. Move it up till it goes green. That little pillar should be 1 stud from the back. That's how you know you placed it correctly, and that the curved front is going to be flush with the front of that 6x2. Then we're just going to make sure we do it to the other side using the right fender. One tiny little detail we can add before we throw on those balloons is the caution lights. So we want some tail lights here from the Thank the Bus Driver set. We're throwing 2 on the outside there. I also like to put them here on the back side here, like on this floor. We're going to have activated balloons on the back here. So on the 8x2 blue floor piece, we're going to slip 1 on the back corner. We're going to slip 2 in the front here, right by these lights. There should be 1 stud of floor sticking out. And then we're going to stick 2 activated balloons on these front wings here. We're not going to have it close to the wing right there. We're actually going to move it a stud over to ensure that it doesn't destroy anything. And then we need 4 regular balloons to make sure that this thing falls at a decent speed. We're going to be putting 2 of these activated balloons, so right over the lights as well. Looks like we're going 1 stud from the front. That's going to make sure that they don't blow each other up. And then we're going to place them on the back side. So I actually slipped an 8x2 into this gap right here, and there's 2 studs on each side. So if you throw down an 8x2 in this gap and make sure that it's even on both sides, you should be able to easily place these in a nice little square like that. Otherwise, know that on each side there's 8 studs of room between the regular small balloons. I'll give you one good look at that placement before we head out. Activating both of these at the same time is going to bring you forward. And if you want to do a barrel roll, I found the best way to make sure that you do a barrel roll instead of some weird little flip is to activate the barrel roll almost right after you start going forward. So we go forward, then we activate the barrel roll. So pressing both channel 1 and 2 to bring me forward, and then immediately pressing channel 3 is going to bring me into a barrel roll. And I should be able to do about 5 of those before the activation goes off. Should be able to do them at any random point in flying, but every once in a while it might do a funky air trick. You can also take advantage of this and learn this, and it's actually going to help you make some really cool landings, some really cool maneuvers outside of the barrel roll. It all is up to you and how much you're willing to practice and mess around with the aircraft. So I hope you guys found some serious use from this tutorial. I can't wait to see you guys build the Nightwing. Join the Discord if you want to show off your version or what you came up with using this base model of Jet. I'm so excited to keep building in LEGO Fortnite. I hope you guys are excited for the future. Some cool quality of life updates seem to be coming. Hopefully we get some huge content this fall. But until then, take it easy everybody, and I will see you in the next one. Oh yeah, and don't forget to drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're really feeling it, click on one of these. Peace everybody.